Oh, Assalamu alaikum students. Hope you are fine and doing great in your studies. This is Samar Ali Julio, your teacher of computer. I believe you would not have forgotten what we have learned in our class. So let's start with a brief review of the course for class 7, starting with chapter number 9, which is Intro to HTML5. Now, what is HTML? HTML just stands for the Hypertext Markup Language. Now, what does it do? It is a computer language used to create documents, particularly web pages, to be displayed on your web browser. Okay. So now, what are the web browsers? As you can see, there are a lot of web browsers. In my PC, there are Microsoft Edge, the Mozilla Firefox, and the Google Chrome. Now, these are the web browsers used to basically access the internet, in which we can use the internet, or we can just display and show the web pages that are being created by us. So we can create the HTML documents, or we can create the web pages by using the HTML. Now, the latest and upgradation of HTML is the version of HTML5. Now, what is the difference between the HTML and the HTML5? It is obvious that HTML5 would have contained some advanced feature, and that lacks the removal of the problematic issues that are in HTML. So the most advanced and the most amazing feature of HTML5 is the facility to play audio and video content without the need of additional software such as the Flash. So before HTML5, there was HTML. The pages that are developed and created in HTML was that in which we cannot be able to play the sound, or which in we cannot be able to play the video. Because of that, we need to install the Flash Player plugin from the Chrome or the Mozilla Firefox or from the Internet Explorer. In HTML5, those web pages do not require any kind of external software such as Flash Player to view or to play the audio and video content. Okay, so the next advantage of HTML5 is that it has some new feature of canvas, which defines you some region in which you can create some shapes, you can create some images, you can create some animations, you can create some graphs on it. It provides you some region to work on it. Okay, so the next thing we are going to cover is the tools that are gonna be required to create the HTML document. Number one is the HTML editor. Now, what is actually a HTML editor? HTML editor is basically software that is used to create and save the document of HTML. Okay, there are many kinds of HTML editors we are gonna be learning in this video too. So, okay, the next thing is we have a web browser. A web browser is usually to access the internet, or it is used to view or display some created web pages on the internet that are being created by us or created by you. So the next we have the HTML editors. So there are two kinds of HTML editors here. Number one is the text editor, the simple text editor, or the number two is what you see is what you get editor. So now there's a comparison between the text editor as well as the what you see is what you get editor. Number one, the knowledge of writing HTML is required in the text editor. You will be required to remember the names, to remember the tags about the HTML. What are the those tag and what is the purpose of those tag? You will be required to remember those names. Okay. So next thing we have the knowledge of writing HTML is not recorded in the what you see is what you get later. So it basically defines you. It basically gives you some drag and drop feature in which you can uh, easily be facilitated with the drag and drop feature. So you can you don't remember any kind of tags. You will just drag those tags, drag those features, and everybody will be at your site. What you will be requiring is you will be getting. So number two is you will be need to remember the tags of inserting images, the tables, list, hyperlinks on the web pages. Okay, in a web page you will have seen there are a lot of text, a lot of images, maybe some tables, maybe some list of some things, or some hyperlinks in which you just click on the link and you will just go to the another link. Okay, so this is the work of hyperlink. So you will be required to remember the tags, you remember the names of those elements to make these kinds of insertion. By the way, but in what you see it, what you get it, you will be having the drag and drop feature to insert those things. Okay, the examples of HTML editors, the text editor. The examples of text editor is we have the Notepad and Notepad plus plus. Now we'll be working on the Notepad so that you can or we can be easily learning the tag names. Okay, so number in what you see is what you get at. We have some examples called Google Web Designer and the Adobe Dreamweaver.
Okay, so don't worry about the theory topics because we are going to practically perform the HTML. Okay, so the next we have the web page. Now, what is a web page? A web page is basically uh, a display of the HTML elements or the display of the HTML tags on the web browser. So in the website, there are basically a lot of web pages, and those web pages are basically created by the HTML elements, and HTML elements are basically the HTML tags, okay, that are used within the HTML document, so it can be displayed on the web browser. So HTML tags always begin with a less than sign and ends with a greater than sign. So we have an example here. In order to make the text bold, this is the text, this is bold, this is the tag, this is bold, and we have used the tags before the this text and after the text. The tag is used as a B. The B stands for bold, and the B is enclosed with the less than sign and greater than sign. This is a bold tag. So this is a start tag, or you can say this is the on tag, and this is the off tag, or you can say that this is the close tag. Okay, so the main difference between the start tag and close tag is that they are basically main same as it is, but in the close tag we have the forward slash sign in order to identify this is a close tag. Okay, so next, we have the types of elements. There are basically two types of elements. Number one is the container element. The number second is the empty elements. So the container elements basically are those elements that contain the less than sign and greater than sign that contains the start tag as well as the close tag. So we have some tags. We have normally all the tags are container elements. We have only two tags in the HTML that are basically empty elements. The tags which are the empty elements are the BR, this one, and the HR, this one. So every other tag in the HTML is the container element. Now what is a container element? Container elements are those elements that are having the start tag as well as the off tag. So this is now, for example, a tag of bold. So this is the tag of bold, this is having the start tag, and this is having also a off tag. So it won't be working if you do not write the close tag of forward slash and the tag name, so it won't be working. So in empty elements it does not require any off tag, so the basically on tag are only required, so it will be working on only single on tag. Okay, so the two empty elements are we having the BR as well as the HR. Now what does the BR do? This tag is used to give a line break. For example, we are writing any paragraph and we need to just differentiate between that this paragraph is separate and this paragraph is separate, so we are going to use that BR on that sequence. Okay, so now the horizontal rule tag, what it does actually, it gives basically a line on the web page. We will be just working on these tag as well in our further video. Okay, so now the HTML attributes. Now each element has a different meaning. Each element has a different purpose, and each elements are known as the tags. Okay, but uh, we have some extra information to these tags, and that extra information is known as attributes. Okay, so attributes can be specified within a start tag. It is not specified in the close tag. It is not specified in the off tag. It is only specified on the start tag. Now, so this is the start tag of paragraph. The paragraph tag is a p tag. Okay, so paragraph is enclosed with the less than sign and enclosed with the greater than sign. But we have some information, extra information in the p tag, which is title equals to my paragraph. Now this is actually a key value pair. Each attribute having a key value pair. For example, that this is the key name is title, and the value of this key is my paragraph. Okay, so the title, the key is in paragraph is title, and the value of this key is my paragraph. Okay, so now we have another tag img is the tag of the image tag, and in this tag we have some attributes called as src is the source attribute. This is the key, and this is the value of source. So now what is the value of the basically image? The value of the image source can be as the path to the image. Okay, so this is the picture name. For example, this is the format. In the double quotation we have to write the value of those attributes. So the value of this source attribute is picture name, the picture you want to paste on your web page, the picture name, and with the addition of dot, with the addition of this dot, and after add this dot, the extension of the picture. We have some extension of the picture such as jpg extension, png extension, gif extension, and much more. Okay, so we have a lot more attributes, and more than one attribute we have. For example, we have this height, and we have this width. So these are the attribute. The height is a key attribute, and the value of height we have here is 100, and the width value we have is here 200. Okay, and this is the alternate. So if the image is not available, if the image path is not available, if the image path is wrong, or the extension of that particular image is wrong, so image will be not be showing in the web page. What will be the showing in the web page? So it will just be showing the thumbnail of it. Okay, but we don't want any thumbnail if the image is not there, if the image is missing of the, or the image extension is wrong. So the alternate of that is we can use the alternate image is not available. We will be working on these tags, so you will be get better understanding of this. Okay, so okay, now what are the HTML rules? There are some certain basically rules before writing HTML. You need to keep in mind those rules. The number one is the tag and attribute names are not case sensitive. That means both the tag name and attribute name can be written in the uppercase letter as well as in the lowercase letter. So for example, the body in the uppercase letter is same as the body in the lowercase letter, but using in the lowercase, but using the tags in lowercase is recommended. Okay, so now the attribute values should always be enclosed within quotes. Both the single and double quotes are allowed. So in attribute section we have already mentioned there was some key, and the key contains some value. Okay, that value particularly should have the content in written in the double quotation or in the single quotation. Both single and double quotation are allowed for that value. The other is tag names should not have spaces, but content of tags may have spaces. Okay, so for example, this is a tag bold. Okay, it should not contain any space. Okay, it would be wrong. If it contains some space, it would be wrong. Okay, but the content of tags may have space. For example, this is a tag and its content is this is a bold, and this is now the closed tag. Okay, so that content may contain have space. Okay, this content may have uh, as much space as you want. Okay, but in tag you should not give some space on it. Okay, back. Okay, the other is the elements can be nested. For example, if we need to bold as well as the italicized text or content. Okay, so for example, we have a content. This is a content. Okay, we need to bold that content as well as we need to italize this content. Okay, what we will do, we will add bold as well as add italic tag. Okay, and now after the content we will close this first the last enter tag is italic, so we will just first close the italic tag and then the bold tag. Okay, so this content would be like this content would be in the bold as well as in the italicized form. Okay, italic form. This text will be in the italicized and in the bold. Okay, so after the HTML rules we have structure of HTML. So now what is the structure of HTML? Keep in mind that there are basically two tags in HTML. Number one is the head and the number second is the body. Each of them contains as much tags as you want, and there are some tags in the body and there are some tags for the head section. Okay, down the head section contains some information about the HTML document, or it contains some IDs, or it contains some CSS files, it contains some looks and feels. And the other is the body section basically contains everything that it displays on the web page. For example, it may have contained some text, it may have contained some images, it may contain have some list, it may contain some tables, or anything or any content you can add on the HTML web page will be add in the body section. Then we have CSS. So in the world of web pages, there's a particular name CSS, which stands for cascading style sheet. It basically work and embed in the HTML for displaying HTML good and better. Okay, so it actually give colors to the HTML. HTML is basically the skeleton, basically the structure of a web page, and what gives the appearance to it, the CSS gives appearance to it. Okay, so there are three ways of writing the CSS. Number one is using the external style sheets. External style sheets is what we can say that we create some file, add some CSS properties on it, and we will just give path to the HTML that get some external file, get some CSS files from this file. Okay, it will operate externally. Then we have using embedded style sheet. Now this embedded style sheet we will be covering in our course. So what happened in this, we just add some style tag on our head section and give some appearance, give some properties to the HTML tags. Okay, now the third is the inline styles. What does the inline styles do? Basically in each HTML tag there were some attributes we have already learned. Okay, in the image section there was source, there was height, there was width. So inline style basically is the property of CSS which gives attributes value as CSS properties. Okay, in despite of writing the attributes we write directly the CSS properties there. Okay, so next we have some background properties of CSS. So we'll be exploring them in our coming part. So this is in your book, the table number 9.1, figure number 9.1 in your book. So you need to explore it by your own self. I will be covering some of the properties to you. Okay, so let's start HTML. For HTML, we will be requiring the notepad. For that, we will be clicking on the Windows button and then searching for the notepad. So we have found the notepad, we have entered, and now we are in the notepad. Okay, so what was the syntax of HTML? We just have need to first of all save this document, control S, and we are saving the document in documents, and here we are saving this document with the name of chapter HTML5. Okay, HTML5, and remember that you need to save this as HTML file. Okay, so for that you will be requiring to add extension of this file name. You will be requiring to add extension of dot htm, or you can add html. You can write htm as well as html, both are right. Okay, now you are saving this. So now this is the .html file, as you can see. Okay, now what we can uh, now let's begin the HTML. So first of all we will be writing exclamation mark doc type. We will be writing doc type in uppercase letter. Okay, then we will be required to write HTML. Okay, now this is basically an empty element. uh, this is now an empty element, so an empty element does not require the off tag. Okay, so then we'll be required to write the HTML because we need to get the HTML page. So we'll be writing the HTML. So the close tag of HTML would be /HTML. Now why we have write exclamation mark doc type HTML here, because as we are writing HTML here again. So why we have write the exclamation mark doc type HTML here? Because we need to identify that this document is the document of HTML5. Okay, it just actually identified the type of the HTML. So the type of HTML is the HTML5. Okay, so every content of your web page would be in the HTML tag. Okay, in these tag, between these tag, every content of your web page will be in this tag. Okay, so we will just give some indentation by hitting the tab button. So we'll be writing first of all you need to remember the that what we have learned in HTML. There are two main tags. Number one is the head and the number two is the body tag. Okay, so we are writing the head tag here, and then we are closing /head tag here. Okay, and then we are writing here the body tag, and then we are just here closing the body tag. Okay, so the body should be written in the lowercase recommended, but you can write in the uppercase also. Okay, so in the body tag there are many tags in HTML, but we would be covering some basic tags. Okay, for example, we are using the p tag, the paragraph tag. Okay, but for the paragraph we need to write the paragraph, or I can just copy the paragraph from the internet. So simple paragraph text, I'm writing this on Google, and I'm oh sorry, I'm just getting the paragraph of coronavirus. Okay, coronavirus, and from the Wikipedia. Okay, so I just click on this Wikipedia page, and now this is the content of all the Wikipedia about the coronavirus. I'm just copying this text, this paragraph, and I'm just pasting this in this p tag. Okay, so now it is a very big paragraph, so I'm just giving uh, some outbreak to it. Okay, so by the CDN have been, I'm just uh, keeping this paragraph short, and after that you need to remember that this is a start tag, so also we need to have the close tag as well. Okay, so for the close tag /p, and this would be like paragraph. Okay, I'm just saving by pressing the Control S, and then I will be opening this where I have saved in the documents. Okay, so in documents I am, this is the chapter number HTML5. This is the page of HTML. Okay, we have saved. Okay, so I will just double click on it, and it will ask me to open this in whatever the app I choose. So I will choose the Google Chrome from here. I will select OK, and now it is showing in my HTML in my browser. Okay, so this is now my HTML document, and this is my HTML web page, but it's not showing as it is written here. Okay, so it is just not taking the space which I have given here. Okay, so in I have also covered that for making the paragraph understand that the line has now break, what tag, which tag we have used, which tag we have learned, the BR tag, the break tag. Okay, it will just break the line from here, the BR here, the BR here, again I'm writing the BR, again here, the BR here, and the BR here. Okay, now I am, if I just Control S, save the document, now open in the my browser and just reload this page. Now see, now this each line has now break into the next line. What means that it is used by the BR tag. The BR tag actually breaks the line up to the next line. Okay, so the BR is also a empty element. It does not contain any off tag. Okay, every tag in HTML contain off tag except for some cases. For example, number one is the exclamation doc type HTML, number two is the BR tag, and number three we have covered the HR tag, horizontal rule tag, if you remember. Okay, so if you write HR here, and if I just copy the HR tag from here and just paste this HR to the BR after the BR. Okay, so what it will just do, if we I control say, I just save the document by pressing the Control S, and now I am just reloading this page. Okay, now look at the result. Now see, this HR tag, what does it do? It just give the line, it just give the line up to the next text. Okay, in each text, in each line, it is being separated by HR, that means a horizontal line. Okay, which is done by using this tag, the HR. Okay, so if I just bold this whole paragraph, if I just bold this whole paragraph, so what should I write? I will be writing the B, and after this in the start I'll be writing before paragraph tag bold tag, the before paragraph tag, and at the end I will be writing after the paragraph tag, the off tag, the off tag of bold. If I just save the document and just reload, so you can see that this text is now being converted into the bold. So if I just want to convert this tag into the italic also. Okay, so this is now a nested tag, as you are seeing. Okay, so for example, I just write here I means italic, and I'm just closing this I here. forward slash I. Okay, I'm just saving this document, and now as you can see, this now text has been converted into italic. Okay, this now has been text into italic, as well as this text has been converted into the bold. Okay, so now if I just uh, cut these all text, and in body, what should I write? I'll be writing some text. For example, I'm writing the text without any tag. This is my text without any tag, it is uh, and it is showing in my web page. Okay, so if I just save this document, just reload this page. Now this is my text without any tag, and it is showing in my web page. Okay, as you can see, there is no any title. This is the save, this is the file name which we have saved this document, but it is not just showing the title here. So what we can write, we can write the title in the head tag. In the head tag we can write the title tag. As I said, the head tag and the body tag may contain several more tags, okay, depending on the your requirements. So I'm just giving the title here, that this is my first web page. Okay, and I'm just closing this title tag, and I'm just saving this document. And as you can see, the title of this tab will be changed in the title bar. Okay, so now this is my first web page, is now the title of my this web page document. Okay, and now the path is also being shown in the URL. As you can see, it is in the users my name Amar in document section, and then the name of the file, the chapter number 9 HTML, chapter number HTML5. Okay, okay, so as I just said, that the HTML just gives the just give the skeleton, or just the uh, HTML just give the skeleton, just give the part of the web page, but we need to just give it appearance, give it some good display. So what we can do, we can use the styling, the CSS styling. Okay, we will be covering the embedded styling. So for that, the is for styling, we would have the style tag, would have style tag in the head tag, style tag in the head tag. Okay, in the style tag, we have to write the type of the styling. The type of styling is this is now the attribute, this is the attribute of style, this is the attribute of a style tag. Okay, the type is the key, and the value of type is equals to, and the value should be in the single quotation or in the double quotation. Okay, uh, but you need to see if the single quotation is working, or if the double quotation is working for your attribute. Okay, so text forward slash css, and we are just closing this by using double quotation, and then this tag, and this is now the start tag. So for closing this now style tag, we'll be writing forward slash style. So now this is the container element, this style is a container element. It does contain have a on tag as well as off tag. Okay, so we would be writing some styling properties to it. We have some content in the body. What content we have? This is my text without any tag, and it is showing in my web page in the body tag. Okay, so in styling, we would be just naming the tag in which we have to apply some CSS properties. Okay, so which tag we have used? The body tag. So we would be writing body, and then the curly braces, and then the curly braces closed. Okay, in this curly braces we are going to write the properties of CSS which have been seen like these are only the background properties, okay, so which can be embedded in the HTML to display the background, multiple properties for that, okay. Number one properties we have is background color, which specifies the color of the background, and the value can be the color name, the color value, or the transparent. For example, background color is here written as yellow. Background property name, and the two two names are only separated by a hyphen, by using hyphen, and the value should be separated by using this colon, okay. So we'll be writing here the property of the body. For example, we are giving the background property, but what property of background we are giving? So we are giving the color property of background, okay. So then we are just going to use the value of this background color, so we need to just identify it by using this colon, and then we are just giving the value of it. For example, we are writing the value, I guess, blue, okay, and I'm writing this value blue, and then again I am saving this document, and then I'm just reloading my page. So as you can see that this background color of this web page is now converted into the blue, okay. So in body, if we want to add some more properties, so after one property we need to give semicolon to it, okay. We need to identify the HTML document that this property is now being closed, okay. Those semicolon serves the purpose, okay. Then we have some property, for example, we have a property name background image, I guess. Yes, the background property name background image, which specifies the background of image, and the value of the background should be the URL of the image, okay. Now what will be the syntax? The background property, and what we are changing in the background, we are changing the image of the background, okay. After colon we are using the URL, that means the link, the path of the image. URL means uniform resource locator, and then in the square braces we are just giving the link, the name of the image, and then the dot, and after that dot we are using the extension of image, okay. So we'll be just using this property background, and what was again after background, it was image, okay, and then your colon, and then URL, then square braces, okay. And after that we are going to uh, just finish this property, so we'll be writing the semicolon here, okay. Image spelling is now incorrect, so colon URL and the path of the image. So this HTML file is in the documents, so there is no any kind of image here, okay. In this part document we don't have any image, so okay. So what we will be doing, we will be just getting some image from here. For example, image this, I'm just getting this image, copy, and then pasting in the documents, and here I'm pasting, and I'm just renaming it for the sake of simplicity, because that is a very huge name, pick, okay. I'm just copying this name, okay. And then the extension of this, the type of this image is JPG, as you can see here, okay. So what we will be doing, the name of this image is pic, and the extension is JPG. So we'll be just pasting this name here, pic, in the double quotation, I guess, if I am right. Yes, in the single quotation or double quotation we can write, okay. So in single quotation we are writing pic dot with extension of picture is JPG, and then the closing quotation, okay. If I'm just saving this document by using Control S and then going towards my browser, just closing this tag, and okay, I'm just reloading my page. So as you can see here is my background picture, okay, and it's just repeating, okay. So there is a property in background called background repeat. Okay, yes, there's a property name of background repeat. So if you don't specify whether the background image is repeated or not, okay, by default it's just repeat. Okay, but I don't want to repeat my background image. Okay, so I will just write here, uh, I will just write here background repeat, and in this value I am just giving the value as no repeat, semicolon. Okay, now saving this file, now checking if it works. It works.
Okay, so that's all. Thank you for watching this video, and do subscribe this channel to get notification about the new videos and new playlists regarding this channel. So we will be right back, inshallah. See you. Allah Hafiz.